Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Jimmy Dore Show. I'm here with Ron Placone.
Hey, Jimmy.
Hey, there's some good news about net neutrality. We've been trying to bring you the good news. There are actually people pushing back with legislative ideas. For instance, Ed Markey, who's from Massachusetts, senator he leads the resolution to restore the FCC's net neutrality rule. So he's got a congressional resolution that would overturn that decision in December to get rid of the net neutrality rules, and it would get rid of that decision and go back to the Obama-era net neutrality rules. And it's pretty popular. Senator Markey, all 49 Democratic senators have signed on to that. Mm-hmm. So that's pretty popular, right? And then in the House, Representative Doyle has 110 people signing up for his congressional resolution to get rid of that decision, to get rid of net neutrality, so to reinstate net neutrality. So the Democrats in the Senate have 49 people. In the House, they have 110. Those are very popular resolutions. Mm-hmm. Now, we know that a lot of Republicans are also in favor of actual net neutrality.
Yeah, I mean, it's picking up steam. I think as far as our fixes go, the CRA is still the longest shot, but, still worth fighting for, too.
Yeah. But, here, all of a sudden, Democratic lawmakers started getting tweets at them like this. We need real net neutrality, not a CRA that can't pass, meaning those two resolutions I just showed you, one from Markey, one from Doyle. These are people pretending to be for net neutrality and telling those Democrats in Congress not to vote for those resolutions we just showed you. That's what they're trying, and to say, let's pass a whole law, a bipartisan law, so that they're getting these tweets all of a sudden, which looks like they're coming from regular people, except they're not. They're coming from a think tank, a Democratic Party think tank, which is fighting you. Democratic think tank doesn't want you to have net neutrality. That's what's happening. That's the Progressive Policy Institute through its nonprofit, its parent nonprofit, the Third Way Foundation. Ugh. meaning the Corporatist Foundation, which also means neoliberal. Corporatist equals neoliberal. That they have received 5- and 6-figure contributions from the major trade associations affiliated with AT&T, Comcast, and Verizon, including Telecom, National Cable and Telecommunications Association, and CTIA, the Wireless Association. Each of these trade groups vigorously opposed the Obama-era FCC's net neutrality rules. So this Progressive Policy Institute that's a gaslight. They're not progressive. They're corporate. And to the point where there's some corporations that want net neutrality. They're corporate with the corporations who don't want net neutrality, which would be the internet service providers, which would be AT&T, Comcast, Verizon. Mm-hmm. So when you see the Progressive Policy Institute, you see those tweets, those are all fake. They're not fake. They're happening, but they're not grassroots like they're trying to. Those are astroturfed, meaning a corporate think tank paid for those tweets. That's not actual grassroots people speaking up. That's called astroturf, pretending to be actual people. So the executive director of the Progressive Policy Institute, someone named Lindsay Mark Lewis, they told the Huffington Post that the advocacy campaign is meant to target, quote, pragmatic members of Congress. So being against the will of the people makes you pragmatic. Mm-hmm. So if you're willing to sell out to a corporation, that makes you a grown-up. You're a pragmatic.
Pragmatic means up for sale. That's what pragmatic means.
Pragmatic.
In this, for instance.
That's right. Very well put, Ron. Pragmatic, as in up for sale. In pursuit of a real legislative solution. So they're trying to pretend like those CRAs are not those we just showed you, Markey and Doyle. They're trying to poo-poo those. Those aren't real. That's not real legislation.
That's not a real political process that can happen when the will of the people demands it. No.
Right. So they called... So this guy who runs this bullshit Progressive Policy Institute called it nothing but a gesture without a solution. No, that's a solution. Go back to the Obama-era FCC rules. Mm-hmm. So when you see this, they say so if you see this, According to the Huffington Post, they say, it's not easy for a casual Twitter user to determine that they might be taking part in the Progressive Policy Institute's political advertising campaign. So if you're a regular Twitter user and you see this, you go, oh, that's a good idea. I'll retweet this idea from a regular person.
Mm-hmm.
But you don't realize you're a pawn now. You're a tool being used by a corporate think tank to actually tweet against your own interests. So you know how people vote against their own interests? This would be tweeting against your own interests, people who retweeted this.
And this is the next chapter of something that's been going on for a long, long time. I mean, yes, net neutrality was cemented in 2015, but as we love to remind people on this show, people have been fighting for net neutrality since the advent of the internet. The rules were assumed, and then, of course, the cable companies finally challenged it in court, and that's how we ended up losing it, essentially. But even back then, when there were like the early advocates of digital rights and net neutrality, places like Free Press, the EFF, the places that are still fighting that fight to this day, there were these other anti-net neutrality lobbying groups. Like there was this one, it was called like Hands Off the Internet. And it's like, hey, we love the free and open internet, right? Well, hands off it. And they were basically, let's do away with any assumed net neutrality rules. So this is like just another one of those double speak tricks.
Yeah, it's a trick to get you to go against your own interest. Net neutrality is good for you. It's the only people net neutrality is not, quote unquote, good for is Comcast, Verizon, the internet, AT&T, the internet provider, people who bring you the internet. They want to be able to screw you over and charge lots more money and have control of the internet and throttle you if they feel like it. So net neutrality says, no, you have to treat everybody equal. So, and if you tweeted that out, there's no link to the Progressive Policy Institute. So you wouldn't know that's who that's from. So, and by the way, none of those original advertisements appear in the think tank's official Twitter feed, since Twitter allows advertisers to hide their purchased posts from the general public so that only users targeted by the ads will see them. Boy, that seems to go against what Twitter's trying to get rid of fake tweeting and all the bots and the Russia. Oh, but we'll let someone do propaganda on you for money.
Yeah, this is domestic propaganda, again, so it's okay.
Again, the people who throw our elections aren't the Russians. The people who throw our elections are Goldman Sachs, Verizon, AT&T, pricks like that. Okay, that's who throws our elections. It's not the Russians. And that's who influences us for money, not the Russians. It's these pricks, and Twitter goes along with them. And then, of course, they have to throw the dogs off the scent and go, oh, Russia. No, but I think you are the ones who are influencing you're knee-deep in corruption. Oh, no, Russia. It's perfect. So AT&T actually took out ads in the New York Times and the Washington Post over this, and they pretend to be for net neutrality. Mm-hmm. That's the game being played. AT&T, they're going to pretend to be for net neutrality, just like that Progressive Think Institute. They're going to pretend to be for net neutrality and say, we need an Internet Bill of Rights. But the Internet Bill of Rights they want is full of loopholes. So you're going to see, so here it was. That's the one, and it's out there. It's signed there by the chairman and CEO, Randall Stevenson.
Yeah, Jimmy, I want to point out he did it in the form of an open letter, as if he's just sitting up. It's keeping him awake at night. Right. Man, I want people to enjoy the free and open internet. I have an idea. I'm going to write a letter about this because I'm just a normal guy.
Legislation would not only ensure consumers' rights are protected, but it would provide consistent rules of the road for all internet companies. They sound so... Boy, this is the most nefarious, underhanded bullshit in the world, but only a corporation can pull this off. So this guy, Randall Stevenson, is a liar, and he's lying to you because he's gaslighting you, which is another form of lying. So he's trying to screw you over. He's trying to make you think that we need legislation that's going to protect you. No. He wants legislation. Well, this is according to Huffington Post. They say that version, AT&T's version of net neutrality, however, would be riddled with loopholes that allow practices like paid prioritization, in which websites can pay service providers to move their content faster than the content of their competition. So in essence, they want a net neutrality bill that doesn't enforce net neutrality. That it's net neutrality in name, but not net neutrality in practice, because they can still throttle you and charge more money and screw you over. right?
Absolutely. That's why they want their internet bill of rights, because they want those rights to benefit them.
And who's behind this? Goddamn corporate Democrats. This is a Democratic think tank. So you remember we told you this before. A lot of the people who funded Hillary Clinton's campaign, all the big donors, were actually working against net neutrality. We reported this before on the show. Turns out now they're working with Trump to screw over you. That's what these people who funded Hillary Clinton's campaign, now they're working with Trump to screw you over. So again, it's one party, it's the money party. And this is why you have to stop voting for Democrats who are corporate. You have to break it, no matter how bad the monster is they show you. No matter how bad because we know that's what Hillary Clinton did, right? She propped up Donald Trump because she knew she was repugnant to most of the electorate, so they'd need a boogeyman to scare you into voting for her, which is what they always do. And they got their minions in the press to prop up Donald Trump. Well, it worked. Except it turned out people were sick and tired of Hillary Clinton, the Democrats, and the establishment. And that's why we got Trump. And now that's why they talk about Russia, because they don't want you to examine the system that made people so miserable that they elected Donald Trump. That's a fact. And now this is gaslighting. This is gaslighting. Now, those same corporate Democrats who wanted you to vote for Hillary because Trump was so horrible are now working to screw you over with net neutrality. That's what's happening, right, Ron?
That's exactly what's happening, yeah.
Okay. So, appreciate the Huffington Post making that article, printing that. I'm sure that's going to be the lead on Rachel Maddow's show. Hey, turns out Democratic think tanks aren't your friend.
Can I add one thing to this, though, just so people know like the difference here? When we're showing stuff like this is not the same. This whole congressional internet bill of rights that AT&T and places are lobbying for, that's not the same as states doing their own statewide net neutrality legislation.
Right.
Those two things are not the same thing.
Right. So
the state thing is a good thing.
Yes. Once Montana,
New York, and in California we got something.
Something happening in California?
Something passed the Senate in California. Yeah, we're moving forward here.
Oh, no kidding.
Yep.
All right. Well, we'll do a story on that. That's That's great news. All right. So there you go. Again, a Democratic think tank, Hillary supporters trying to screw you over. And just like the man is trying to screw independent news over by unsubscribing subscribers to internet news shows like this one. So I know, again, every day, 10, 20 emails a day, people telling us, I thought you were kidding. I actually was unsubscribed. Please make sure you click right there, check, make sure you're subscribed, and click that bell because you'll get a notice when we drop a video. Sometimes it'll say, oh, you'll get intermittent notices. Make sure you click it so it gives you a notice for every video. It's the only way we can fight back against the bastards because they want you to, you're probably going to find out you're subscribed to MSNBC or to the Daily Beast or some other bullshit YouTube channel like that. They're subscribing people to that, okay? So just so you know, you have to fight back, and the way is to make sure you're subscribed or come see our live show. Hey, we're going to be, guess what? We're going to be in San Diego February 24th. That's a Saturday night, 7 p.m. show. Then we're going to be in Austin, Texas on the 25th of March, and we're going to be in Portland in June. All links for tickets at jimmydorecomedy.com. There's a link right there. Thanks for your support.